This is the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight, where you get a chance to learn more about NFL draft hopefuls. I'm Steph Sanchez. Joining me today is Findlay offensive lineman Mike Jerrell. Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing today?
I am good. I'm fabulous. I'm excited to have you on today. Haven't had a ton of offensive linemen, but a lot of 49er fans are excited about all the offensive linemen. So definitely excited to have you on today. Let's just get right into it. You played your entire collegiate career at Findlay, coming out of high school. Did you consider other colleges? What made Findlay the right fit for you after all those years?
Initially, when I started my journey, getting ready for college, I was going to go to a different school, go to another D2 school. But I decided to change my commitment and flip over to Findlay because it felt more like a family atmosphere. And even throughout my time at Findlay, I did have opportunities to leave, but the relationship I had with the guys there, the coaching staff, the strength coach, specifically Coach Allen, Coach Wags, I just, I couldn't leave my family behind. So those are my guys.
Well, yeah, loyalty is definitely big, and having that family atmosphere is important too. That's not a guarantee everywhere you go, right?
Mhm.
So, you were able to make your way onto the field in your very first year, 2019. You didn't see action, and then COVID happened. So, walk me through your first couple years at Findlay and how that 2 to 3 year stretch kind of impacted your game.
Okay, initially my freshman year, I was supposed to redshirt, but due to lack of depth on the offensive line, I was kind of forced to play. And going into the next year, I did have a chance to compete for a starting spot. I didn't win the job initially, and then they felt like I wasn't ready, so they gave me another year to develop. So then they redshirted me, which I really needed, just to get stronger and then get more mentally tougher. I don't think I was mentally tough going into that season. Then COVID happened. I started the 6 games in our little COVID season, made first team, and then the next year started all the games, and then I've been a starter since practically the COVID season.
Yeah, you finished your Finley career with 40 consecutive starts. So it definitely seemed like once you got that opportunity, like you never looked back.
Yeah.
Was there a specific season at Finley where you felt like the game started to slow down for you? Things started to really click?
I say my fifth season. My fifth season. My red shirt senior year. It felt everything started to slow down, come together. Everything just started to make a little bit more sense now. Yeah.
It was that the 2022 season?
2022 season, yeah.
All right. Yeah, because you were first team all GMAC, and then you were able to kind of build off of that as well. 2023, again, first team all GMAC, but you were also GMAC Offensive Lineman of the Year. That's
Mhm.
big. So congrats on that.
Thank
How
you.
did it feel to get that recognition in your final season?
It felt good. It was something that was always written in the plan for me from the time I got recruited. Come in, be offensive lineman of the year, and we have like a little thing in our meeting room called in the pit, and he highlights all the offensive linemen of the year, and all Americans and stuff, put them on the wall, and I always wanted my place on the wall, so I use that as motivation, and hopefully, me being on the wall can motivate the guys that are currently there, and the guys that are coming in. So
I
yeah.
love it. You definitely manifested it.
Yeah.
And so you've played tackle and guard through your career. Is there a spot that you feel most comfortable in? Like, where do you see yourself playing at the next level?
I would say I feel more comfortable at right tackle because that's what I played majority through college because it just felt more natural to me. But I feel like I can hop in at any spot, left or right, right tackle, right guard. Still progressing and working on snapping the ball and stuff like that. Ain't a finished product, but I'm working on snapping. But other than that, I say, yeah, just really the right tackle spot, and I can move into the right guard if needed.
Oh, teams I would definitely love that versatility, right? And just the willingness to do that. So that's pretty big.
Mhm.
And I could definitely see with the athleticism you have, like tackle being your strength. where do you think that athleticism comes from? Like, do you kind of credit your basketball background for that at all?
Yeah, I credit a little bit of basketball, also a little bit of genetics. My mom and my dad, I mean, my mom and my dad, they have a little bit of an athletic background. And my brothers are athletes, but I get a little bit from the family. I think it's genetics.
I love it.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so walk me through your mindset when it comes to a pulling block.
Whatever in front of you, try to kill it. You gotta get it out the way, create this hole. Sometimes, just create this hole. Be the force. Don't stop.
I love it. And so when it comes to game planning and film study, what are some things you look for in your opponent?
First, when I'm going looking at defensive ends, I like to see like tendencies, like what's their first move when I'm looking at pass rush. What's their primary move, their go-to move, and how can I counter that? And then I like to look at the blitzes and look at alignment, so I know when they're going to blitz and things like that, and what down and distance they're going to blitz in. Um, Mainly looking at other pieces, like additional pieces like the safety, the linebacker, seeing where their situation, see where their position at when they're coming. Those are things I like to look at um, when I'm watching film.
All right. And when you watch your own film, what are some things you're kind of watching in your own game? What are some things you kind of feel like you want to improve on?
I'm a hard critic on myself, so when I look at my film, I look at everything, looking everything's bad. Now I look at some plays like, oh, it's a good play, but a lot of times I be like, ah, man, I could have did this way better. I'm just a hard critic on myself, but overall, sometimes I look at like hand placement. How can I take a better departure? What type of set I should have used? Foot placement when it's coming to run blocking. How could I have done better with my footwork in the block to position myself for more success? Um, those are the main things that I look at when I'm watching film myself. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say to a team that doubted you, your abilities just because, you're from a small D2 school?
I I I say, man, if you don't know who I am now, you will know in the near future. So, uh, you know, don't sleep too long.
I love that confidence. I love it. And you actually did have the chance to show some teams up close that, you could compete against pretty much anybody at the Hula Bowl.
Mhm.
Tell me first, like, how did it feel to get that invite? What did that mean to you?
It felt good to get the invite. It felt good, like I finally get the chance to showcase my skill against Power Five guys. Some of the guys that are some considered some of the best in the country when it comes to to this NFL draft process. It felt real good. It's like a relief. I was happy to be there. I met some good guys. My offensive line coach was great. Even the offensive line buddies, they were great. Even other guys on the other guys on the defensive side of the ball, they were great guys too. And I felt like it made me better. And I got to see where I measured up against the other people.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, from an iron sharpens iron standpoint,
Mhm.
was there anyone that you kind of locked horns with that, really challenged you that week?
Yeah, I say the defensive end from I think Washington State. I think his name was Washington State. I think his name was Ron Stone. He was pretty good. I liked him. He was violent with his hands and had a nice good push pull. The guy from Solomon Bird from USC, he was really good. He gave me a good run for my money. LSU, it was a guy who they from LSU. I think he played linebacker initially in the season. They moved him down to DN. He was pretty good, fast. It was nice to go up against some speed like that, I would say. And then from the interior, uh, I didn't really get to go up against too many guys in the interior, but I had a block up against a guy from Utah State. He was pretty good. So I feel like I got some good work from everybody on both on the ball. So yeah.
No, it's definitely good to get that experience and test your abilities against other draft hopefuls as well.
Mhm.
And like, did you get a chance to meet with any teams? Like, how did those meetings go? Were there any conversations that stood out to you?
Yeah, I met with 16 to 32, including the 49ers. One conversation that stood out the most, I had a good conversation with well, two. I had a good conversation with the Steelers and the Eagles. Just similar backgrounds. Talking to one of the guys from the Eagles. He played at a Division II school with a coach that was on my coaching staff at my school.
Yeah, nice.
So it was kind of nice. And then talking to the Steelers scout, we had a real deep conversation, and he's sharing some of his stories working in the NFL, and like I'm sharing some of my stories, just some life experiences and stuff like that. I feel like it was good.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to make those connections.
Yeah.
Um, well, I know now, like you're preparing for your pro day. First, remind us when your pro day is.
My pro day would be March 20th at Ohio State.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so man, that's awesome because then every NFL team is going to be there. That's
Yeah.
another great opportunity to showcase yourself. And so right now, what's a typical day of training looking like for you?
A typical day, I wake up, eat breakfast. Um, at the facility, we would start with some hurdles, work on speed development, working on our starts. Then we would get into some lifting, and then after that, we pretty much chill. And then on some days, we would do our speed and our speed work, and then we have position work and some board work, just gaining more knowledge about football and working on our strengths and weaknesses in our position work.
Oh,
Yeah.
and last I saw, you were listed at 309 pounds. Like, are you set with that? Was that your goal weight, or is that something you're still kind of working on?
I think that's something I'm gonna stick at for right now until I need to gain some more weight. I think I'm comfortable with that weight. I feel like I can put on some more weight, but right now for them to see me at my best, as far as in the drills and
Hmm.
speed, I think 309, 310 is where I want to be at.
Yeah, and I mean that's still impressive size, 6'5", 309. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, they got to see the speed too.
yeah.
We got a couple of questions in the comments that I want to get to too. Shout out to people in the comments. Mark asked if Mike could pick any team to play for, what would it be? Now, we don't want to pigeonhole you here. Just obviously you'd be happy with any team that drafts you, but if there was like a dream team you could play for.
I think when it comes to like, I'm gonna go based off of like what I feel like I do best. I feel like
Love it.
I'm gonna go one based off what I feel like I do best, and like one off of just like childhood dream. Well, one, I do think I was like the 49ers, they fit me personally because they like to get out and run, let the offensive lineman get out and run. And
Mhm.
by having speed, I feel like that kind of like resonates with me. Uh Childhood, always been the Colts though. Like I'm from Indianapolis, so Colts, I grew up a
Yeah,
Peyton Manning fan. Um those are one of my, that's just, I don't know, being a hometown hero, that's something I always wanted to be. But I feel like I can be a hometown hero from anywhere.
I love it. Yeah, and I'm glad you gave those 2 different ones because, like,
Yeah,
everyone always has, like, a childhood team that they grew up watching, and sometimes you just know there's teams that do fit, like, what you do best, so that's a
yeah.
great answer, I love it. Fork-tailed Devil says, "Pancake or throw them out the club?" What's your favorite type?
I like throwing them out.
Oh, oh, I lost you there for a sec. We got you? No, I can't hear you now. Wait, the audio. I heard you say throw him out the club though. I did like that answer, but I'm gonna give you a second to get the audio back in here. You might be able to look at the settings at the bottom, and it might give you like audio settings. Or if you want to like leave and come back really quick, I just had a couple more questions for you. All right. Um, All right, Mike's gonna come right back, but that was a great question, Foxtail Devil, and he said throw him out the club is what he prefers. Definitely not a bad answer right there. We're gonna let Mike, get back in here. It looked like he was probably getting a call, so that probably threw the audio off. But he was just mentioning, and I did want to ask him about that. He's from Indianapolis. That is his hometown. So my next question here was he. Yep. Yeah, we're good. Awesome.
Okay, yeah, my
Yeah, I
fault.
was
Throw him out the club.
all
Yeah,
good. I did
yeah,
I did hear you say that. So, throw him at the club. Definitely a good answer. I mean, there's no wrong answer to that one.
yeah.
Um, but you did mention like in the previous answer you gave that, Indianapolis is your hometown. Everyone knows the combine was this past weekend. Um, how was it? Like, were you tuned in? Like, are you kind of using those offensive lineman times and in measurements to kind of propel you for your own pro day prep?
Yeah, a little bit. I was in attendance because it's right. It's right actually right down the street from my home. But I was in attendance and I was really just there, not really kind of like I was paying attention to the times, like just to give me some competitive spirit. But I was also there just rooting on my guys that I train with at my facility at
I
X3.
love it.
And then just some guys from the hometown that maybe entered the draft this year. That's training, rooting for them, and just wishing them the best. I hope everybody gets what they want out of this whole process.
Yeah, I love it. You as well, man. I've had a blast with you today, but I always end my interviews with this one last question.
Mhm.
What is a team, what is the fan base getting with Mike Jerrell both on and off the field?
On and off the field, you're gonna get a good on the field. You're gonna get a good hard worker, a real workhorse, a guy that's willing to do what most people don't want to do. Um, let's say a gritty player, ready to learn, and also ready to step in and be a leader when needed. Off the field, you're gonna get a genuine, playful guy. I like to play, joke around, and just be myself, and being a caring person. So that's me.
I
Yeah.
love it. And I love a team. I know a team is gonna love that as well. So, best of luck these next few months. We're gonna be tuning into that pro day, see how you do. Definitely gonna be rooting for you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, Mike. Well, we're gonna let you get back to your relaxation because the grind starts again tomorrow, I'm sure.
Now the
So
grind
everyone,
starts every day. So
every day, it
thank you.
never stops. It never
It never
stops. Love
stop.
it. Everyone that tuned in, thank you so much. Everyone that's sending questions, appreciate you guys. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, because there will be plenty more prospect spotlight interviews just like this one. But for now, have a good rest of your Monday, folks. Peace.
Peace out.